Happy Wellness Wednesday. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Lindsay Banks, owner of Healthy Motives 365, where I help clients find health in every day by assisting them in eliminating the bad habits that can lead to chronic disease. So tonight we are going to be talking all about boosting your immune system. And I'm excited because I have one of my friends here with me tonight. I have Mia Bradford, founder of Beyond the Busyness. So I'm going to read her bio and then we will get started. So, Beyond the Business mission is to redefine self care, creating a holistic definition that encompasses emotional, physical, and financial well being. Beyond the Busyness exists to help high achieving women of color examine their relationship with self and also develop a healthy relationship with their finances, emotions, and physical wellness. So, thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to have you here tonight.
Thank you for having me, Lindsay. I'm so excited to be here. I
Yes.
love talking about this. Is my favorite topic.
I know you are the essential oil expert, so I'm excited to also learn something. I did, dabble with essential oils a little bit, but I'm excited to hear all the information that you have to share with us tonight. So tonight we're going to really focus on preventive ways to help boost your immune system. So in particular, we're going to really discuss essential oils, which is, like I said, one of Mia's areas of expertise. And I will also provide some information on supplements that you can use also to help to boost your immune system. So before we get started on that, I want to kind of just talk about the immune system in general. With everything going on, a lot of people have been talking about the immune system. So it's definitely a big topic right now with COVID-19 and how much it's affected our normal way of life. And really, we don't really know what our normal way of life is going to be anymore. So we're really going to focus on prevention and how essential oils and certain supplements may help in boosting your immune system, of course, on top of other healthy lifestyle choices, because again, your immune system is going to be the strongest when you start with a healthy base. So just a little general information on the immune system before we jump into essential oils. So the job of the immune system is to protect our body from outside invaders such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, and toxins. And it's actually made up of different organs and cells and proteins. And they actually work together to protect us. So the overall job of the immune system is to prevent or limit infection. But even though its job is to prevent infection and protect us, it can be compromised, which can cause us to become more susceptible, or in other words, make us more likely to become sick. So myself and Mia both, we love to focus on prevention. So the key to keeping your immune system healthy year-round is prevention through our lifestyle choices. So things like making healthy lifestyle choices in regards to the foods that we eat, making sure you're getting enough sleep. Mia, I know you love your naps.
I love sleep.
Yes, exercising and managing stress are vital components in boosting your immune system. So along with our lifestyle choices, we can also incorporate things such as essential oils and supplementing with certain vitamins and minerals and herbs that can help improve our immune response and potentially protect us from illness. So one thing I want to give a disclaimer before we jump into talking some of the information that we want to share tonight is the information that we are providing is for educational purposes. So be sure to talk to your healthcare provider before starting any type of supplements or a new regimen, especially if you are on any type of prescription medications. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into essential oils. So Mia, first of all, can you just kind of tell me or share with us how you first got started with essential oils?
Absolutely. So, honestly, a lot of my friends, because they're from the Caribbean or Africa or overseas, like they actually use essential oils and they would give them to me, back when I was in grad school. And I was just like, oh, I didn't really like the smell of them, honestly, at first. This was like maybe in the early 2000s. And then, or mid 2000s. Fast forward about 2 years ago, I was at High Performance Academy that's hosted by Brendan Burchard. And there was this woman who was going down the aisle giving everybody drops of this oil called Abundance. And, my friend who got some, she was like, really? She was like, I got to get that oil, whatever it is. It's amazing. And so, and then everybody around us every day at this conference was using essential oils. And so I was just like, well, if they have all this energy and they're using essential oils, I need to be doing what they're doing. And I need to figure out what oils this is, because my first, encounter with oils, it was just not, it just didn't do anything for me. So fast forward, I have my Beyond the Busyness group, and a young lady joins my group. She's a mutual friend of a mutual friend. Mm-hmm. And she is talking about essential oils, and she ended up teaching me and another friend of mine basically everything she knows about oils. And because she actually took the time to educate me, because I really like to understand what I'm getting into, that is what propelled me to start using the oils, and then also find healing and be pharmaceutical free.
And also, it's good that you said that she took the time to educate you, because that's what's important. You think about it, whenever you are making any type of changes, regardless of, what it is, you want to make sure that you take the time to educate yourself and make sure that you're not just relying on, what other people are telling you, essentially.
Exactly.
So with that being said, can you share what are essential oils? Some people may not be really familiar with what they are.
Absolutely. So essential oils are basically, it's oil extracted from plants. So it's all holistic, organic, natural. Well, it also depends on the way that they're processed. So that's really important too. Or distilled is the actual term. So basically, an essential oil can come, like if you have rose essential oil, for example, that'll come from rose petals. Lemon essential oil will come from the rind of the lemon. You can also extract it from leaves. So it's basically just extracting oils for healing benefits from plants.
Okay. So you kind of mentioned briefly there about the way that they're prepared. That brings me to another question. Are all essential oils created equally? Because I know sometimes you can go somewhere and just buy, some very cheap ones. But, my mom always taught me it's not necessarily about price, but it's about quality. So can you give us a little bit more information on that?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking that question, because yes, all essential oils are not created equal. That is why I did not like essential oils in the first place, because what I was given was called a blend. And I blend oils all the time, but I blend pure oils to get a certain type of impact. And so what do I mean by that? So when you get oils in the store, basically there's ways that they can process the plant so that they can get more oil out of it. So they can use pesticides, which we all know are very harmful. They can use chemicals. There's all kinds of ways that they can make the crops expand so they can get basically more for less. So the products that I use are a little bit more pricey, but one, they work. So like I said, I've been pharmaceutical free for 3 years, and 2.5 years, I'm sorry, 2.5 years. And I use essential oils. Like if I have a headache, a stomach ache, you name it, I don't take a pill. I use the oils because they're that powerful if they're pure. Now, what happens is in a store, sometimes what you'll buy is the bottle will say pure. As long as there's 1 drop of pure oil in that bottle, the manufacturer can say that it's pure because it's not FDA regulated. So, yeah, exactly. So this is why education is so good, because, you buy something, you're like, oh, this is $5, but yours costs $25. Why is it 5 times more? Well, first of all, smell it. You can definitely tell the difference when you smell it. It doesn't smell the same. And most likely that bottle that you bought that says pure is probably maybe a 20 to 80 ratio. So 20% of pure oil and 80% of what's called a carrier oil. And the carrier oil is basically a thicker oil, like a coconut oil, jojoba, almond oil, olive oil, something like that, that you can use to expand the essential oil. Because really, when you use essential oils, you only use maybe, a few drops at a time, versus when you use a carrier oil, you'll use a lot more of it.
And that goes the same thing you think about, like you said, if it has like 1 drop, they can mark it as pure. And that goes the same thing you think about the foods that we eat. So when it's marked as healthy or organic or what have you, you really have to make sure that you're reading those labels, because that doesn't necessarily mean that it is purely healthy or organic. So that's an important thing. Make sure that you're reading your labels and you're doing your research and you buy from a reputable source. source. So, okay, so thank you for sharing that information. So now I want to get into what are some good essential oils to help boost our immunity?
Well, I'm glad you asked that as well. So, I'm all about boosting my immune system because, again, I don't take any type of vaccines or anything like that. Don't come from my head, everyone. I don't need it. Look, I'm smiling and I'm healthy. I'm fine.
Okay.
So, because some people are like, oh my God, you're crazy. Da, da, da. Hey, different strokes for different folks.
Exactly.
I don't want to ingest that, right?
And it's okay to agree to disagree. Everybody has their own choices in life, and so you have to respect that.
Exactly. So the first oil that I want to share with you all, I have it here in my lap. That's why I'm looking down, is oregano. So oregano is something that you've probably used in your kitchen, maybe when you're cooking. And you've probably heard a lot of people maybe in the recent past talk about oil of oregano. So I know my sister takes oil of oregano for herself, and her children, and they have not had any colds or anything in 2 years. So just a little bit about oregano. It's antimicrobial, antiviral, and antifungal. And the cool thing about this oregano here is vitality. I'm trying to make sure. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Vitality, which means that you can ingest it. So you can put a drop of this in your tea in the morning, and bam, you are now antimicrobial, antiviral, and antifungal.
And that's good quality if you only need one drop.
Yep, it's quite powerful. Trust me, I've tried it. So, woo. The next oil is lemon. Okay, so everyone is very familiar with lemon. When sometimes if you get a sore throat, you may cut up a lemon, put it in some hot tea and honey and things like that. So lemon is actually great for supporting the body and detoxing, because a lot of times if we have a virus or something like that, bacteria, we basically need to detox and eliminate that from our system. It also helps to maintain healthy lymphatic system, which supports your immune system. And this one also is, you can diffuse it, you can apply it topically, and you can ingest it. So again, if you wanted to, essentially in your tea, you could actually put oregano and lemon. The next one is...
And Tracy said, hey Tracy, shout out to Tracy.
Hi Trace. Hey girl, hey.
And we also have Arthur on.
Hey Arthur, what's going on? Those are my friends. Also, I'm so glad you're joining us. So Thieves is amazing. So Thieves is like, for Young Living, this is our all-encompassing immunity oil. Again, this is also vitality. So if you just wanted to use one thing, you could totally use Thieves. So Thieves is what's called a blend. And in Thieves, there's cinnamon oil, clove, which is good for your thyroid. Lemon is already contained in Thieves, rosemary, and eucalyptus.
I'm sorry. Huh? I said my mom's name is Rosemary.
Oh, I love that. And I actually love the smell of rosemary.
I do too.
To be honest, like rosemary, lemon, and vanilla makes the best diffuser blend ever. I mean, it's like heaven. So this is a great oil to support immune function, and it has 5 different oils already contained in it. The next one is ginger. I gave my ginger away to my parents because they needed it. And, that's what good children do. They make sure their parents are taking care of. So ginger is also great for supporting the immune system, as we know. So ginger, turmeric, things like that. Next up is frankincense. So this frankincense is not for ingestion, but there is one for ingestion. I just have the larger bottle. This is also good to help you balance your hormones. This is also great for meditation. Frankincense is very healing, and obviously Jesus received frankincense when he was born. So frankincense is amazing all the way around. I use it at night for sleeping, and I also use it in my skin serum too. So I know I'm going like off the beaten path, but these oils have multiple purposes.
Right. Give us all the knowledge. All of it.
All of it. Here it comes. Yes. Here it comes, my friends. So finally, the last oil is eucalyptus. So this is eucalyptus blue, but there's also eucalyptus globalis and eucalyptus radiata. And if you're ever interested in understanding the difference between the three, I'm happy to educate you on that separately. But eucalyptus helps to cleanse your body. I use it because of the multiple allergies and sinuses that I have to deal with. So I diffuse that a lot just throughout the day while I'm working. And it helps to maintain your nasal passages. So when you feel stuffy, you can literally just open up your bottle of eucalyptus and just inhale through from the bottle, or you can do what's called cupping. And that's when you place a drop or two in your hand, you cup or tinch your hands like so, and then you place your hands over your nose and you inhale. So that's what you can do.
Yeah, and one thing with eucalyptus, I actually use that for my youngest, Aiden. He has allergies. And whenever he's having some type of, congestion or what have you, I'll put it in the diffuser, put it next to his bed, and just it helps to clear him up and he relaxes and he's able to go to sleep. Another one that I use that is not directly related to immunity, but it has an effect. You think about lavender. And you think about it like the lavender is good for relaxation and things of that nature. Well, when you are constantly in a stress state, then stress actually weakens your immune system. So using lavender to help relax you is going to also help to make sure that that immune system is going to stay strong, because that's one of the things that actually inhibits our immune system too. I got a little lavender going right now to keep me calm during this live.
I love it. And I'm glad you brought up lavender, because peppermint, lavender, and lemon is a really good blend for allergies. Because like you said, the lavender helps to calm, and basically when your body is in a state of fighting allergies, is in a heightened state. Anytime your body is trying to fight something off, it's in a state of stress. So the peppermint and the lemon, we already talked about lemon, all of its wonderful benefits, helping to detox the body. And then the peppermint is also good. Any type of mint. I also use spearmint. I use eucalyptus, peppermint, and what's my wintergreen. Any minty thing. I have every single minty oil in the world. All over there.
Okay, so you kept saying vitality, and you talked about ingestion and not ingesting. So are there any precautions or things you need to know before using essential oils, like skin contact, or ones that you can actually ingest and ones you shouldn't? So you got any tips for us on that?
Oh, yes, plenty. So first, let me tell you about citrus oils. Citrus oils are photosensitive. So what that means is that you do not want to apply them topically if you're going outside into the sun. So lemon, orange, tangerine, lime, you don't want to have that on your skin and then go outside. Okay. So if you're going to use those oils, because those oils are fantastic for boosting your mood, you may want to put them on a place that's covered, like on your chest or something like that. And you can use those photosensitive oils in that way. Or if you are going to go outside, you need to wait a couple hours. The other thing, there's 3 ways you can use essential oils. There's inhalation or diffusing. So again, you can do cupping, or you can use a diffuser, because the fastest way for the oils to get into your system is through inhalation. Then you can also use them topically. So I create my own skin serums with different oils like frankincense and sandalwood and lots of amazing oils that cost a ton of money. But you know what? You got to keep that skin looking good, So
the investment is in you. You know what I mean? We'll spend a lot of money on purses, shoes, clothes, and stuff like that. And those are replaceable. You, yourself, your body is not replaceable. So
it sure is
worth the investment.
Thank you, Lindsay. And then, you know what I'm saying? So topically, you can definitely use the oils topically. If you do want to stretch the oils, so like frankincense is like super expensive. So, you might use a drop or 2 of frankincense and then use maybe some coconut or jojoba oil. If you want to like rub it, like let's just say like I have a burn. I don't know if you all can see it, like a burn here. Like if I was really like adamant about getting rid of that burn, I could rub like frankincense or myrrh on here and some carrier oil and rub it in every day to get rid of that burn mark. So that's another thing. You can apply them topically, and finally you can ingest them. With Young Living, we have what's called vitality oils. And with vitality oils, they have a white label and they say vitality. And that just means that they're safe for ingestion. Now, if you get this bottle, you can still diffuse it. You can still use it topically. You can do everything with this one. But if you have a colored label, then you don't want to ingest it.
So vitality, ingestible. If you have a colored label, don't ingest.
Right. And if you purchase elsewhere, you want to read the label to see if it's safe to ingest, because this is another thing. So my friend, I love her. She told me about, she used Young Living essential oils, but she didn't tell me how to get them. So she gave me a recipe because I was really sick. This was before I started, using them myself. And I went to GNC and Whole Foods, and I could not find an oil that was safe to ingest. Because I kept reading the labels, and I'm like, friend, I can't put this in my tea. How am I supposed to make this tea if I can't find these products? But she never told me how to get the products. But finally, I have them myself now, and I make my tea, and I'm very happy.
Well, that's good, because it's definitely, you want to make sure you read labels. That's so important, like you said. Okay. So any other tips as far as essential oils?
Well, one thing that a lot of people say is that if there's an oil that you don't like the smell of, that means that you really need that oil.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yes. So what is the oil? I was like, I don't like it. Oh, myrrh. My dad gave me some myrrh because I had silk burn. So for those of you who don't know me, like, I'm an aerialist. And so I was, on the silks, and I was super high, and I probably slid down too fast and like burned my arm. So, don't let that scare you. You should still try it. That was just
time, and I need to go again. I love it because I want to become a pro.
You should. And it's so much fun. So, I didn't let that little burn stop me. But anyway, my dad was like, what happened to your arm? Ew. I was like, Dad, it's just a little silk burn. He was like, no. So he marches me upstairs and puts some myrrh on it. It's much better now. Stopped hurting. But it's just to say that you can use essential oils for anything, burns, insect bites. Like, I have an itch stick. Like, my dad, we went outside and he got bitten with a mosquito. And I was like, oh, Daddy, here, use my itch stick. He's like, oh, this is good. And I was like, because he's always making me recipes. So then I had to put him up on my itch stick recipe.
Oh, nice. Because mosquitoes in Texas they're a little crazy. But also I got 2 mixes from Mia, and they're not necessarily, well, actually they do have an effect on immunity, because you think about, one of them was for digestion, which I'll talk about that in a minute, as far as a lot of your immune system is in your gut. And so I noticed that what I'll do is, after I eat, I'll rub it on my belly, and I noticed that it does help to aid my digestion. And then another one that I use, another mix I got from Mia, is a calming mix. And so whenever I'm getting ready to do something, I feel like I need to calm my nerves, I'll rub a little bit on my wrist and like the bottom of my feet, which you told me to do. And it does, I've noticed the difference. It does help to kind of calm me. And I might not notice it at first, but afterwards I'm like, wow, I wasn't as nervous as I usually am. And I'm a lot more calmer. So they definitely do work, the mixes.
Excellent. And thank you for bringing that up, because I did not mention that essential oils are also good for your mood and emotions and things like that. And so, there's just so many different ways that you can use them to enhance your life and not have to use, pharmaceuticals or something like that.
Yeah, so definitely, if you guys have any questions, make sure that you put them in the chat, and feel free to reach out to Mia if you want more details about specific essential oils that can help you with all different things. So we are going to move on. I'm going to talk a little bit about supplements. So I'm not going to talk about it too long, because I don't want to keep you guys too long this evening. But I wanted to give an example of 5 supplements that can actually help with boosting your immune system as well. So one thing to note about supplements, they should be used to fill in the gaps, hence the name supplement. So they should not be used as a replacement for a healthy diet, because our body actually absorbs nutrients better from whole foods. Okay, so you got to start with the healthy diet first. The difficulty is that most individuals don't eat a balanced diet, and so we don't get the proper nutrients that we need. And a lot of times it's very difficult to get good whole foods because from the access of all the different processed foods and things of that nature, and the pesticides and the chemicals. Even if we're eating fruits and vegetables, a lot of times they may not necessarily be organic, and so now we're getting all these other things. And so as a result, supplements may be necessary to help, fill in those gaps and prevent deficiencies, which can eventually affect your health. So I just want to talk about 5 specific supplements. The first one, vitamin D. I'm pretty sure you've heard a lot about vitamin D recently with everything going on. But just to tell you a little bit more about it, it is actually a fat-soluble vitamin, and I'll tell you what that means in a minute here. But it's very essential to the functioning of your immune system. So it helps to enhance your white blood cells, and white blood cells, those are your protector cells. And so they provide defense for us, and it can also help to decrease inflammation, which can help reduce our risk for respiratory infections. So one thing about it is many people are actually deficient in vitamin D, and especially individuals of darker skin tone, so African Americans. A lot of times we can be deficient, or individuals, depending on where you live at. The closer you are to the equator, meaning you get more sunlight, then a lot of times you're going to have more of a supply of vitamin D versus living somewhere where there's not a lot. You don't get a lot of exposure to sunlight. And so when I talked about it being a fat soluble vitamin, it's important to get your levels checked, because like I said before, a lot of people are deficient. But you also want to create a baseline, because with it being a fat soluble vitamin, it can actually build up in your system. And you can have too much, meaning it's fat soluble, it gets stored in your fat tissue. So knowing your levels is very important. So you can get an idea of like a starting point, and you can measure those levels, and your healthcare provider can do that, just a simple test and measuring your vitamin D levels. We are talking about supplements, but one of the best sources is sunlight. So getting outside and getting some sunshine. When all of this started happening and we were all, in the house and not getting outside and not getting fresh air, that was like one of the worst things that could happen for us, because again, now if we're already deficient in vitamin D, now we're lacking it even more. Another one is zinc, and this is actually a mineral, and it's needed for immune cell development and communication, which is very important when we have an inflammatory response. So when you hear the word inflammation, it's not necessarily always a bad thing, because that's the way that our body responds to things. It's when we have chronic inflammation, and that starts to create issues and can lead to, more diseases or conditions down the line. But whenever you are deficient in zinc, it can put you at risk for having increased infection and disease. So it can also protect you against respiratory infections like the common cold, or some research has shown that it can actually reduce the duration if you have like a common cold. So with zinc, some of the sources other than supplements, of course, you want to get them from your diet first. So avocados, blackberries, pomegranates. If you do consume meat, red meat and poultry are also sources of zinc as well. The next one, vitamin B6, and all B vitamins are good, but specifically vitamin B6 is going to help keep the immune system strong, and by producing white blood cells that regulate the immune system. So remember, I talked about how your immune system, white blood cells play a huge role. And so whenever you are deficient in B6, it can actually reduce the amount of antibodies needed to avoid infections. And so we have certain white blood cells that actually produce antibodies. So when we get exposed to things, it remembers those infections, and it strengthens our immune system if we get, exposed to it again. So sources of B6, peanuts, bananas, soybeans, oats, poultry. So all of those are good sources, again, in the diet. And if you're not getting in your diet, you want to make sure that you fill in the gaps with a good quality supplement. 2 more, vitamin C. Everybody's familiar with vitamin C. Everybody has heard of vitamin C. But it also is going to support your immune cells and their ability to protect you against infection. And another thing, it actually helps to clear out old cells, so then they can be replaced with new ones. It's also known as an antioxidant. And basically what that does, it helps to fight against free radicals. And free radicals are natural byproducts that can actually affect and harm our healthy cells. And they come from things like exposure to X-rays, cigarette smoke, air pollutants, industrial chemicals. So we all get exposed to those things simply by just living our lives, going outside, eating processed foods and things of that nature. Research has shown that vitamin C can also reduce the severity of upper respiratory tract infections. So you think about if you do have the common cold, getting some vitamin C is going to help to reduce how severe that cold is. So citrus fruits, tomatoes, red and green peppers, kiwi, broccoli, strawberries, all of those all have good sources of vitamin C. And then lastly, earlier I talked about how important your gut is when it comes to our immune system. So probiotics. So when we talk about those, just kind of talking a little bit about the gut, about 70 to 80%, depending on the research that you read, of our immune system is actually in our gut. So it's important to keep it healthy with normal levels of bacteria. So depending on our diet, our stress levels, exposure to toxins, it can actually become, the bacteria in our gut can actually become imbalanced. So we have healthy levels of bacteria. And then sometimes if we get exposed to pathogens, then they, cause those healthy levels to reduce, which again can reduce our immunity. So whenever we consume probiotics, they can actually help to balance that bacteria and get our immune system back strong, which can also help in weight loss and in just keeping a regular digestive tract. So as you can see, our lifestyle choices and our environment can greatly affect the strength of our immune system. So we've talked about essential oils, we've talked about supplements, but again, making sure that you are eating healthy, whole, organic foods, getting plenty of sleep, managing your stress, exercise, and really limiting your exposure to toxins by choosing clean beauty products and personal care products. I know that's a lot, but it's kind of like one of those things I always say, taking it one step at a time. So, pick your battle. You say, for example, like, I want to eat healthier, start with eating healthier. And once you get to the point where you feel comfortable with doing that, then, okay, let me make sure that I'm working on healthy ways to manage my stress and so forth. And then again, on top of that, incorporating some things like essential oils and supplements to help support a normal, like a regular healthy lifestyle. And that's going to be what you can do to really help to strengthen your immune system. So Mia, did you have anything to add to that?
Well, you just I need to put in my order for all my my vitamins, and zinc is something that I've seen it come up, but I haven't taken that supplement yet. I do B, C, D, and probiotics, so I got to get on my zinc.
Yeah, and definitely. So one thing that I do, when we talked about earlier, you talked about the quality, or basically all essential oils aren't equal. It's the same thing with supplements. They are not equal. Just like you can have fillers for your food, fillers for your essential oils, depending on where you purchase your supplements from, they can have a lot of extra stuff in there and not really, give you the things that you need. So you think about like, okay, I'm getting this supplement and it's only $5. Okay, maybe buying one from an actual healthcare practitioner may cost me $15, but these ones that are $5, I got to take 5 of those to get the amount that I actually need versus taking one of these over here. And so again, you want to make sure that you are getting good quality supplements. And I actually am selling supplements now through Fullscript, which is a physician grade supplement dispensary. And so those are the types of things you want to make sure that you are actually getting good quality things, because again, what's the point of investing your money in something that's really not going to work for you? It's basically just throwing it away. So you want to make sure that you're investing in good quality things to make sure that you are creating a good, healthy lifestyle. So Mia, where can people find you and learn more about your services?
Well, to find me, and if you would like to first learn more about essential oils, you can go to oily.life/beyond the busyness. And actually, there's a lot of education there. You can scroll all the way down to the very bottom and you can read up on how to use essential oils. What are they? What oils do you need to use for what particular thing? And you can also connect with me because I'm happy to talk to you about your health goals and what your priorities are and connect you with the right oils for you. And then if you're interested in maybe like physical wellness and yoga, aerial yoga or traditional yoga, or even financial services, because we all know if our money is not right, our mind is not right. You can go to beyondthebusyness.com and you can find all the different services that I offer there. But I love to connect with you, and I'd love to see you happy, healthy, and whole.
Awesome. And I'm checking the comments. We did have one question. I don't know if Arthur is still out there, but he asked about if there are any essential oils for joint health.
Absolutely. There's there's a supplement that comes to mind that we have through Young Living. I believe it's BLM. And also we have some muscle rub. If it just depends on what the joint situation is. So like if it's more preventative, or if you already have some pain, like maybe some inflammation. So Arthur, definitely connect with me. You know how to get in touch with me. And then I can ask you some more questions and let you know specifically what you can do for your joints.
Okay, he said he's still here. So definitely, Arthur, get in touch with Mia and she can help school you on what essential oils you need for your joints. Okay, so awesome. Be sure to check Mia out. Follow her. She has some great information, just not only about essential oils, but just self-care in general, and also helping to get your finances together as well. Also, if you're not already doing so, be sure to follow Healthy Motives 365 on Facebook and Instagram. And be sure to also check out my website. It's on the bottom of the screen here at www.healthymotives365.com for more information on my services, and also to shop for good quality supplements to help you fill in the gaps. So that is all that we have for you tonight. We thank you for watching and continue to find health in every day. Have a blessed evening, and we will catch you next time.
Bye. Thanks for watching.